Thakur Ramakrishna, at the very instance, he takes him to the absolute. He doesn't go into the details of karma. He doesn't go into the details of karma that you should not do this, no. He makes him remember his goal of life. What is the goal of life? Always we need to remember, why are we here? Like when I was talking in Bengali, I was saying, that there are some people who have this near death experience. If you see the YouTube, you will see so many people talking about near death experience. Something happened to them and they were dead for like 20 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and then they return to their body. In this time, within this time of 2 hours or 1 hour, whatever, they experience something, and their whole life changes. The perception of their life changes. Their whole, everything changes. The way they were looking at this life, everything changes. Why does it change? Then in some cases I've seen, they talk about Vedanta, they talk about the scriptures, Hindu scriptures, they talk about Maya. So what does a person feel or experience when he goes out of the body? He sees that he was never this body. He was never this person. He sees himself to be a consciousness. He sees himself to be consciousness, energy. And this energy is dimensionless. It doesn't have any dimension. Everything here, everything in this world has dimension. We say that this is a three-dimensional space. Everything has got a time and space. As science says, that this universe is just an expansion of time and space. So time and space is expanding itself, and they are creating this, all kinds of matter, subtle matter, this quartz particle, boson particle. Everything is because of the expansion of time and space. But when a person dies, he sees that there is no time. He moves into a place where there is no time at all, which is timeless, which is spaceless. And not only that, he sees that he is not the individual. It's also individual-less. There is no individual soul. Everything is the universal soul, the one soul. The one soul, and that soul is everybody. He has never committed any misdeed. He has never committed any sin. He has never committed any bad deeds. He has never done anything. He is always pure, bright, effulgent, free of everything. That is what he sees. He experiences light. There is no darkness. There is no darkness. And when he comes back, then when he sees this reality, he sees that this is not a reality at all. This reality is called an apparent reality, but the reality that he has already experienced is the actual reality. And that is the truth. Now, why do we come to this apparent reality? Why did we come here? Why we had to come into this world, into this chains, into the bondages, into this set of this, into this matrix? Why did we have to come? It has got a reason, and the reason is to know myself, to know who I am. This is just a divine play. I am in a completely adverse situation. I have put myself in an adverse situation only to, struggle and know which is my nature, what is my nature. And that is this game plan, that is this game, that is this divine play. It puts everybody into this adverse condition just to enable people to come home from here. And this is this game. We are here to come home. This is not our home. There's a home. So Thakur Ramakrishna, at the very first instance of his utterance, he takes this boy to that point. He says, Kormo, how long are you going to work? How long are you going to perform actions? All these actions are performed till the time when you know who you are. Because actions are performed only because of, because of your ego. Because of the performer. All the performance, every work done is because of the doer. You have a doer. You have a doer. I. You think that this is the doer. And because the doer is there, that is why you are made to do. The moment the doer is not there, the moment this agent is not there, the agent of action, the moment the agent of action is not there, there is no action at all. Now, how to get rid of this agent of action? How to get rid of this doer? To know who I am. That's all. When I know that I am the self, then I know that I am not this doer, the person which is here now. Like I was talking about these three, the three bodies. There are three bodies. One is the, this gross body, this body that we have with hands and legs, eyes, everything. This is the gross body. Our organs and the skin, blood, everything. This is this gross body. Then we have a subtle body. This subtle body takes birth and it dies. When it comes into this gross body, then you say that one person has taken birth. And then when this subtle body goes out of this, of this gross body, then we say that he is dead. So one is the gross body, one is the subtle body, and the last one is the causal body. What is the cause of all these bodies? So the gross body is this one. 24 elements we have. What are the 24 elements? Five these elements, 5 basic elements. That is, earth, water, then fire, then air, and sky. These are called the basic building elements. This is called Pancha Mahabhutas. It's called the basic elements, Pancha Mahabhuta. Then we have Pancha Prana. Pancha Pran. What is that Pancha Pran? Pancha Pran is, the one that you take inside. These are all winds. The one that you take inside is called Apan. The one which you leave is called Prana. There is one wind which connects this Apana and Prana together. That is called Saman. There's one wind which takes your food from this throat through the esophagus into your stomach. And there is one wind which takes your food waste material from your stomach through the anus into outside. So these all are because of winds. So these are called pranas. So Pancha Prana. There are 5 pranas. So our gross body consists of, first of all, 5 Pancha Mahabhuta, that is basic building blocks, basic building elements. Then, thank you. Then Pancha Bhuta, and then Pancha Pran, the 5 elements, the 5 winds that is always working in the body. This is the Pancha Pran. Then Pancha Gyanendriya, that is 5 sense of perception. What are the 5 senses of perception? One is eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. So these are the 5 senses of perception. This is called Pancha Gyanendriya. And then there is Pancha Karmendriya also. What is the Pancha Karmendriya? Hasta, that is hands. That is 5 senses of action. With these organs, with these senses, you work. So what are the, first is your hands, then your legs, then your voice. Bak, Pani, Pado, Upasta and Payo. Then one is Bak, Pani, Bak, Pani, Pado, Upastha. Upastha means stomach. Stomach. And Payu means your, Upastha means your reproductory organ. Upastha means your reproductory organ, and Payu means your anus. So these are the five, five senses of action. So that means five basic building elements. Then Panchapran, that is 10. Five senses of perception. Five senses of action. So it's 20. And then Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. There is mind, intellect, Chitta. Chitta is the mind stuff from where the mind is created, and Ahankar is ego. So all these 24 elements, is this body. This body consists of this gross body consists of 24 elements, and the 25th one is the soul, the self. So in some scripture you see that gross body is made up of 24 elements, and in some scripture it says 25. So when it's 25, it means they also count the self. In some they don't count the self or consciousness. They only count the outer thing. So that is the gross body. Then there is this subtle body. What is the subtle body? Subtle body is Pancha Mahabhut. That is five basic elements. Five elements. Then Pancha Prana. Then these five, winds that we have, which works in this body. Pancha Prana. Then Pancha Gyanendriya. That is five, sense of perception. Mana. Mana means mind, and Buddhi. Buddhi means intellect. So this 17 is called the Sukshma Sharir. That is subtle body. The 17 together consist of the subtle body. In yoga, this is according to Vedanta. According to yoga, they count it 18. They count it 18 means all this 17 and one more, that is Pancha Tanmatra. Pancha Tanmatra is a calculation where we calculate, like we have five senses. Five senses: eyes, ears, tongue, then nose and skin. These are the five senses. Now we take half in one, we take half as eyes, and the half in the other half we have these four other elements, okay, of these senses. Then in another one we take half of ear, and then the other half, it contains four other. In this way, five tanmatras happens. If you want, we can have a separate class. It's a little bit complicated, but it's called Pancha Tanmatra. So in yoga, they also consider this Pancha Tanmatra as one element. So according to yoga, the subtle body consists of 18 elements. According to Vedanta, the subtle body consists of 17 elements. So this is gross and subtle body. Now there is another body which is called causal body. Cause of this body. Why this body is caused? Why this body is caused? It is because of ignorance. It is because of ignorance. Now what is that ignorance? This ignorance is this I, of not knowing the real self. So when what does a person know about himself? He knows the I. He knows the I which is not the universal I, which is an individual I, and he thinks that this is what he is. So this I actually is the root ignorance. Okay? You ask anybody, who are you? He will say, this is me. This, but this I is not talking about the universal consciousness. Is not, because this I is the universal consciousness. Tat Tvamasi. I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma. This Atma, this soul, I am Atma. Atma means I. This I is Brahman, is the universal self. This is what the Vedas say. But when you ask a person, who are you? He will say, I am this, I am this, I am I. But this I, he is referring to a individual I, which is within this body, which is associated with the body, which is associated with the mind, intellect, ego, and the surrounding. So this I is actually the root ignorance. So when this I goes, this ignorant I goes, then only this cosmic I, this universal I, it manifests itself. So when he says kormo kotokhon, how long are you going to work? You are going to work till the time this I is eliminated from your system. This I, this individual I, this individual soul, this idea of your individual soul, this idea, that this perception that I am this individual soul, till this idea stays within you, you are a unenlightened person. And because you are an unenlightened person, you have everything. You have bondage, you have work, you have this, you have that, you have everything. You have birth, you have death, you have virtue, you have vice, you have everything. Just you remove this I from the system, you are universal. You have nothing. You are that one. You are that one. There is no two. There is no two. There is only one. Unity. There's no two. Everything, everything. Every relativity starts from two. From two. Everything is relative. I'm thinking about something. I'm working for somebody, for something. So everything is relative. Nothing is absolute. Whatever you see in this world is all relative. Nothing is absolute. So because nothing is absolute, why nothing is absolute? Because this I, which is in the middle of everything, this I which is in the middle of everything is also not absolute. It is also individual. It is also relative. It is relative to your body. It is relative to your mind. It is relative to your senses. It is relative to your to the conditions that you are, to the people around whom you live. Is related to everything. So this is what this, because this is relative, everything is relative. When you go to that state of absolute, then everything is, it vanishes. Why? Because there is no relativity. There is no relativity. E is equal to mc square. It's a theory of relativity. But when there is E, there is E. When there is consciousness, there is only consciousness. This consciousness is always super consciousness. It doesn't need any other consciousness to manifest itself. And that is why Thakur Ramakrishna says, how long are you going to work? Means you have forgotten the purpose of your life. You think that this, performing these actions, so earning a bread for yourself and your family and maintaining your family, and this is what life is all about. It's not, this is not life. You have come to this world. You have come to this world in the state of adversity because, this is what you have chosen for yourself. That I will stay in this adversity. I will stay in a completely reverse atmosphere from where I will manifest myself. I will manifest who I am. That is the essence of life. That is the essence of life. So when does it come? When does it happen? When you know yourself. So Thakur Ramakrishna says, till when you are going to work, till the time you have known yourself. That is the point you are going. So you don't need to think about whether this work is good or bad, whether it's a misdeed or a good deed, whether it's a bad karma, good karma. Don't think about this. Think about how can I attain the goal of my life? What is the purpose of my life? Where from I have come? I was referring to one poetry of Shankaracharya. Kadava kanta kaste putra sangsaro yamativa vichitra. Who is your daughter? Who is your son? Who is your, who is your wife? Who is your husband? Just see, who are they? You have an imaginary relationship with everybody. You have thought that this is me, this is mine, that is mine. The moment this thought loses, the moment you lose the thought, you find no relationship with that person. If that relationship was absolute, then the thought would never go. But this doesn't happen. In every relationship, at one point there is a beginning and there is an end. No relationship in this world is eternal. Only one relationship that is eternal in this life is the relationship that a disciple, true disciple, has with his master. If the disciple is true, the relationship that the disciple will have with his master is the only absolute, real relationship. All the other relationship of this world is false, imaginary, perception. This is what you perceive now at this point. At this point you perceive this, but it's not going to stay for long. At one point you will see, who are they? Katava kanta, kaste putra. Who is my son? Who is my daughter? Who is my parents? Who is my wife? Who is my husband? Sansaro yamativa vichitra. This world is a very, very, very amazing place. It is an amazement. Why this is an amazement? Because it shows things which it doesn't exist. It shows a snake in the rope. You see a rope and you see the snake. It shows silver in sand. It shows mirages. So what are they? They're all unreal. So this life is an amazement. Why? Because everything is unreal, but it seems so real. It seems so real. Kasya tvam. Who is yours in this world? Think about it. Who is that person who actually belongs to you? You will see nobody belongs to you. The only person who belongs to you is God himself. Because he lives within you. He lives in your heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati. In everybody's heart, the God resides. The God resides within everybody's heart. So, the only person who is yours is God, is the self. But you think that this is mine, that is mine, he is mine, she is mine. Pastor, nobody is yours. Ka, who are you? Who are you? You say, I am this, I am that. This is what you say. Vedanta has been saying, you are not this, you are not that. But people don't believe. Now people have this, we have this YouTube and we can see, we can upload our videos, we can upload everything that we feel, we experience. So now we have experiences of people who says that, when I died, I saw I am not this body. I saw I am not this person. I can't recognize that person as me. I saw myself to be consciousness. So you are that consciousness. When you say, Kasyatam ka, who are you? You are not this body. You are not this I that you think yourself to be. This I is not you. You are the I which is beyond this I, which is, which is projecting this I. You are the projector. You are the sun. You are not the moon. The moon is illuminated by the light of the sun. It doesn't have its own light. Sun has got its own light. You are now behaving as a moon, though you are a sun. You don't know that. You are self-illuminating. That is why it says enlightenment. When you know that you are always light. What is enlightenment? When I know that I am the light, that is called enlightenment. Enlightenment doesn't mean that you are in darkness. Somebody comes and then it leads a light in you and say, now you are enlightened. No. Enlightened means I am always a light. I was always a light. Every time I am that light, that is called enlightenment. So Ramakrishna, it brings this person directly to the point. How long are you going to do this action, perform this action? Till you know who you are. You have not, you have not worked for that. You have not, you have not submitted yourself into the pursuit of knowing who you are. You have submitted yourself into the pursuit of, gaining wealth, prosperity of this world, material, material gains. And in doing this, in doing this material gain, you have accumulated matter. You have given up the conscious nature of yourself. You have given up the conscious nature of yourself. So it says, how long are you going to work? যতদিন না তাকে লাভ করা যায়, till you know him. Till you know him, you have to work. That's all. The moment you know him, who is this him? This him is you. The moment you know him, why is it that while you know him, all the works goes? Here it doesn't mean that when you know him, you don't need to work. It's not that. When you know him, you know that I am not the doer. And because you are not the doer, you don't do any work. Because you are not the doer, you don't do. You do because you think that you are a doer. The moment you know that you are not the doer, you will not do. You will do, but you will not do. He will do. Karmanne akarmani ya paschet. A person who sees karma in not performing any karma. Akarmani cha karmaya. And while he is performing a karma, he sees that he have not performed a karma. Sabuddhimana manusheshu. That is the in this world, that person is a wise person. Who sees, when he does not do any karma, when he does not perform any karma, when he is in samadhi, then he knows that this is the actual karma that I am doing. When he is always in samadhi, that is what he sees, that this is the actual karma I am doing. And akarmani cha karmaya. And when he is performing action, then he knows that I am not performing action. Sa buddhimana manusheshu sa samukta kritsna karma krit. And even if he performs all kinds of action, all kinds is not, if he may perform all kinds of action, but he will always remain liberated, free from all this. Because while performing these actions, he knows that he has never performed any action. Okay, so till you know that, till you know him, that is the time when you perform action. তাকে লাভ হলে সব যায়. When you have attained him, everything goes, everything vanishes. Everything vanishes. Karmas, the results of karmas, the consequences, everything goes. তখন পাপ পুণ্যের পার হয়ে যায়. Then you go beyond virtue and vice. So today we stop here. Again, we'll come and we'll discuss this gospel